Hey everybody, I'm here with Chad Milling and Stephanie Sandoval. They are the founders of the Rejecks clothing line movement. Nice to have you guys on the show.
Thank you for letting us come.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did what I could. Anyway, so I would like to start with how you two guys met. And I guess, Chad, you can answer this question.
Yeah, we met at Conner High School. I transferred over there, and we were in the Connections program at Conner High. We both we were from two different backgrounds, but had a lot of similarities between each other. We enjoyed a lot of art things, and our main attraction, our main thing for each other was Michael Jackson. We always talked about that.
Now, is there a part of Michael Jackson that filtered into your Rejects clothing line?
The creativity, the detail, and the amount of work he put into his shows and everything. That's what we try to put into our shirts. He's one of our main influences when it comes to that.
Explain the concept behind Rejects.
When we first came up with was reject in general. The word is something so negative. I know you think rejected from school, rejected from high school, rejected from any type of group. So we changed it around where we wanted it to be something positive. We wanted the whole word just created differently. So we thought, why don't we make ourselves something like a group, like a, you think about like nerds, or you think, like Pharrell did nerd and something like this. We're like, you know what? Rejects should be something positive. We should be proud of being rejects. So that's pretty much how we came up with that concept. But overall, we came up and stemmed off to different ideas of how we could just create characters, and we created our own like characters of people that we didn't even know we were. Right. So Sarah and Ty came up. Right. So we were like, wow, they're rejects. Let's make them into their own high school and make them go through their stuff.
For people who were, in a sense, accepted in high school, the jocks and all those people, how do you think they would react to something like this, to this kind of movement?
We all feel rejected.
Right.
I don't think it's just we're trying to make ourselves. I think for us, we felt like rejects, but in a sense, like, look, he was a jock. And I thought he had it made in high school. I was like, oh, this kid's totally popular. I'm over here like this artsy fartsy girl. So in a sense, we all have our insecurities. For me, it was low self-esteem. You know what I mean? It's for a plus size girl especially back then, we did not have the plus size clothing that we have now. And that's something that I wanted it to come out as a plus size girl. We need shirts to fit us. Like, I wore t-shirts because that made me feel comfortable. So like I said, I think everyone, even nerds or even like, well, this is how the label was back when I went to school, but jocks or preppy kids, I think everyone had their insecurities, which made everyone a reject.
And I think people will accept it for what it is. They see that the positive movement we have and what we're trying to create. They understand what we're trying to do. Once they understand the characters, once they understand and see our mission statement and how we basically came up and how we started the whole thing, they'll understand. And I just hope that once they understand and they appreciate for what we do, what we're doing, and see the hard work we're putting into it.
Besides you guys meeting, like, how did the idea go from just an idea to an actual physical thing?
Well, that table right there is pretty much where everything started. Steph and I, basically, one time we were talking, and we had another one of our influence was Johnny Cupcakes. Johnny is big into his t-shirts, and he's very detailed with how he with his whole shirt company, in the sense of the bakery theme, how he puts certain things on his t-shirts. And Stephanie and I always talked about it, and we always wanted to do something like that. And when we came up with the idea, we wanted to come up with something where we can connect and we could show people what we want to do.
Pretty much it was just, and trust me, it was a slow process. Before we met, we met at a Barnes & Nobles here in West Hartford, and we're like, okay, we want to make t-shirts, but where is that going to stem from? Because nowadays everyone wants to make t-shirts. We wanted a movement, so we were like, we came up with the title, then we came up with the logo, then we were like, oh, characters, and then we're like, you know what, we can keep stemming off. So pretty much we wanted is what Johnny kind of incorporated, do what makes you happy. We wanted something positive where it's going to not only help us, in our process of growing up, but to come up with something that's positive for someone to have, to not just get followers and sneakerheads. We wanted something where kids get motivated to create or do something that's going to make them do something or create something, because that's what Johnny did for us.
What kinds of activities have you been doing to try to spread the word as much as possible?
Right now we're involved with something that's called Hip Hop for the Homeless. So someone named Joey Batts, who, it's funny, a year ago, when we printed our first shirts, we were like test runs. We gave him one. We're like, could you wear it? He's a teacher for the Hartford Public Schools. He's like, sure, no problem. And now, a year later, we're going to be one of the sponsors. So I think it's good that we slowly go to our community.
Why do you have the color red as your signature color?
You want to answer?
Nothing bloody related, right?
No.
We just wanted something to stand out and pop with the R. We knew we wanted a symbol, and we literally, I was literally walking to the comic book store. I was talking to Stephanie on the phone, and I was like, well, we have the R, but we need a color to show the R even more. And Stephanie came up with the color red, and she showed it to me, and I was just like, yeah, that's great. Like I thought that was like the perfect idea, and we both agreed that was a perfect idea. So because to us, it's just the red symbolizes, yes, it's a really bright color and it pops out more, but it's the opposite of the F. When you get the F, on your report card, anything is a negative effect. It's most children, most kids think negative of themselves. So we want the R to be the opposite of that whole thing.
Peruvian colors. I was like, hey Chad, just want to let you know that I added the red too because Peruvian pride.
No, and Stephanie, I think we talked the other day about why you spelled Rejecks the way you spell it, Rejecks. Now, why is it spelled that way?
Well, like he was saying, rejected, you see it as something so negative. You see that stamp. Like, everyone's saying that rejected stamp. It's awful. But I think when we wanted to get the concept as the logo, we were like, let's change it around. Let's make it something that's going to pop, but be something good. Be something where people are like, oh, what? Doesn't seem so bad. Like, if I look at my logo, I'm not getting that weird feeling that you get when you get the rejected from, like, your taxes or anything like that. But you know what I mean? So we wanted to change it around.
Who would you say is your core audience right now? Is it high schoolers who are currently rejected? Is it former high schoolers who used to be rejected? Who are you trying to reach primarily?
I think we're trying to reach, we don't have like a core exactly yet. We want to reach high schoolers who basically have a low self-esteem. That's what we love to do. We've reached one of them on social media, which is great. He sent us a message back talking about he always wished there was a clothing line like this. He's always been dealing with stuff in high school where kids picked on him, kids bothered him, and he always felt rejected in the high school. So definitely influence children like that, kids like that is always great for us. We reached out to some adults who felt like they felt the same way in high school and in life now. So that's also too a great feedback for us to see, adults saying, hey, listen, like I'm losing, in my job, or things aren't working out at work, and you guys are sending such a positive message. I definitely would support. So we have a huge a group of people, different variation of people we want to reach out to. So we don't have a set target as of right now, but we just love the feedback we're getting.
Yeah, even when we gave shirts to some people, they were varied from different. Like, my dad rocked it, and then you see, a younger cousin, and then you see another person who is like 30 years old. You see a runner, you see an older person. Like, we have a different variety of people wearing it, which is great. So everyone kind of is in the same cohesive kind of factor. Right. So it's great. But I think majority, which I know, is a lot of them have worn it to the gym, which is some of our selfies. So I'm like, oh, weight loss. So see, you feel rejected from the world, so you're trying to lose that pounds. But it's great. I think we've had some people who hit us up. Hey, I've seen that shirt at the gym, and I'm like, hey, that's great. Take a, snap a photo, but don't let them see you. But it's like I said, it's a wide range of people that we'd want everyone to wear it. It's like if you're supporting any type of band or any type of shirt, like it's good to see people just wear something that represents something positive.
Maybe it's just me, and maybe you've noticed this, but it seemed like a while ago it used to be like, oh, if you want to be cool, be a jock, be a motorcycle biker or whatever. But now it seems like it's flipped over. Now, we have this nerd culture taking over. Now it's cool to, have comic books and to dress up and do this and that. Why do you think we have that shift now?
I think kids nowadays are definitely like trying to do different things and be more creative rather than just following the typical norm, which we're all about. Is like we don't understand, or we try not to follow the norm. We try to get away from it, and we applaud those kids and people who do that. So I think kids are just trying to, I guess, make their own path in the world, and that's cool.
I would say, like, why that's coming out now, like, I don't like. I noticed Star Wars is super huge. I'm like, oh wow, it's really popular, but you haven't seen the original Star Wars. But like I said, I think it's good because I think back in the days, I think there wasn't that freedom to really have that freedom of expression. I know as far as me, and I say it positively with plus size, like this plus size has taken over, which I'm like, why wasn't this when I was in high school? I'm like, there was so much positivity in being a big girl. So I'm like, you know what? This is great. I think it shining to light now it's a good thing. I don't know why, but I think it's just like I said, music's changing, everything's changing nowadays. People are actually having the comfort, the comfort of just expressing themselves.
Are you guys ready for the launch date? When's the launch date?
November 30th. Yeah, we're pretty much ready.
We're not nervous.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah,
You seem
yeah. We I mean, we've come a long way. Last year, I mean, we were passing out flyers at Comic-Con, no shirt, nothing, just telling people, hey, look out for Rejects, look out for Rejects, and people was like, oh, yeah, you guys have a site, and we're like, no, but just look out for Rejects, So we've come a long way from that. I mean, when we first actually printed a shirt out and I showed Steph because I went to go pick it up and I brought it over here at the same table and I showed Steph. I mean, we sat there for about a good couple minutes just staring at the shirt because we knew, okay, we knew where we were going, we knew what we had, and just to see it out, that was huge for us. So, yeah, so we're proud, but we're not we want to just continue and make more steps.
I think we're trying not to like psych ourselves out with the launch. I think it's just the tiny steps and just getting better at it. Just knowing I think it's just a healing. For me, majority is a healing process. I'm like, you know what? The launch is coming. This is great. Now we're slowly starting to get like followers. So I'm like, okay, don't get too big headed where you think, okay, you gotta just keep thinking this is just something you love to do and don't get nervous, don't freak out. Even with the interview, we were very humbled about anything, just exposure just for the company.
What are you guys doing for the launch? Are you doing some kind of big party?
Yeah, I think as far as the launch, I think it's just us taking a breath and finally breathing because, it's finally going to be online and it's now, we're going to have people actually purchase. Instead of emailing us, it's going to just be purchases online and they'll have more choices of getting stickers and pins and other stuff. So, and it also... It shows our mission statement and it shows our biography. And plus, like I said, even some of the photos that we got to take with some people, it expresses people in our lives, our friends who've helped us, and we introduced some rejects.
Well, how can we all keep in touch with you? Give me the links.
Yeah, so when we launch our website will be rejects.com. We also have Instagram, so you can find us Rejects Clothing on Instagram. On Facebook, we're Rejects1 on Facebook, and we're also on Twitter as well, Rejects Clothing.
If we also post where we're going to be at events, definitely for Hip Hop for the Homeless. We definitely are going to be at those events where we're actually going to meet people in person, not just be behind social media. So that's the best part. So we'll actually get to meet other people who can purchase shirts and maybe give us some ideas and also scream out some ideas. So, yep. Email us.
Thank you so much. This is Chad Milling and Stephanie Sandoval. They are the founders of Rejects, and the launch is November 30th. It will have already launched by the time you see this, but still, follow all their links, and you'll be surprised how great it is to be rejected. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.